once again returned to the podcast that never stops evolving. Now a third head has grown.
It is a bald head filled with all kinds of mini painting secrets and knowledge. And he's here today to share his info on...
Trapped under plastic. We are going to top you up.
Welcome to the podcast, Benjamin Kantor. We talked about him before. He is in Minnesota to shoot a little collaborative project with me. And so we had him here on a Friday. So we did the podcast and doing a live stream later today. Woo! Woo! Ben.
Woo.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
That's great. That's great to hear.
Happy to be here. Happy to be the third the cancerous lesion on your podcast.
So Ben saying our topic for today is all about the American competitive miniature painting scene, because you've been thinking a lot about it lately with the impending Golden Demon. But we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves.
We are way ahead of ourselves.
We got to do some Preamble Ramble.
We do.
Okay, and the only thing in here is Ben rapid fire question barrage.
Yes.
Am I asking rapid fire questions?
No, you are the recipient.
Yeah.
So
All right.
I'm sure everybody knows Ben, but if they don't, now they're going to really get to know Ben.
Oh, boy.
So Ben, we're just going to ask you a couple of questions. Scott, you jump in here at any point if a question jumps into your mind.
Ben, where do you live?
I live in Los Angeles, California.
Okay. Ben, how old are you?
Oh my god, dude! Are you serious?
No, okay, we can skip that one.
Dude, it make me feel not so old that this youngin is the only one in here.
Oh no, we're the same age, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all the same age.
Yeah.
That's the right answer.
Yeah.
Okay. Ben, what always makes you laugh?
Your podcast.
Oh gosh.
Oh, so nice.
That was I was set him up for one. Okay.
John, do you hate Ben? Why are you not looking at him?
I can't because there's a bar in the way.
Okay.
I have to look at them or I have to look at Ben.
Talk to Ben like this.
I don't know what to do with my hands. Ben, do you like
Look at me in the eye while you fuck me these questions.
Ben? Soft cookies or hard cookies?
Oh shit.
Dude, fucking so crispy.
Oh yeah! No. Yes.
Why though? What's the reason?
It's texture. Like they're always going to taste like
Okay.
cookies. Why would you want like a little puddle in your mouth?
Yeah.
Well, not
mouth
so soft.
puddles.
It's a puddle,
Mouth puddles, dude.
but just a nice, soft, not aggressive.
I want to fucking gravel in my mouth, dude.
Dude, if I want something crunchy, I'll eat a goddamn cracker. Okay.
Yeah. You want the full Captain Crunch experience where it shreds the upper part of your inside of your mouth. Dude.
Okay, I got a question for you, Ben.
Oh, Jesus.
Diet Dew or Dr Pepper regular?
Can I just get a Diet Coke?
No, but we'll accept it.
He is an artist. He needs to be creative. You can't box him in
Okay.
with two choices.
Well, you did in the last question, and it worked out just fine.
Well, it's because my question was better than yours.
Okay, Ben. How long have you been painting miniatures for?
I guess 5-6 years.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's the appropriate amount of time, I think.
Yeah.
After that, like I'm closing in on 5 myself, but I'm like, all right, I know everything or
Yeah.
nothing. I'm
Let's
not sure.
retire, dude.
Let's just do it. Yeah.
This could be a retirement podcast. This is us retiring.
But retiring from painting or retiring from your job to start painting more?
We can retire from whatever you want. Retire from painting. Retire from life. Like
Yeah.
how
Okay.
far do you want to take it? Like
It's the retirement podcast, just in general.
yeah.
Okay.
All right. I had another one.
Ben, do you play games?
So many, dude.
But like miniature war games?
Kinda.
Okay, like what?
There's a game a long time ago called Mordheim.
Oh, yeah.
Little throwback.
Yeah.
Maybe you people remember.
Oh, they do, yes.
Mordheim. I love Mordheim. I loved another one from that era, Gorka Morka. That's John's never heard of Gorka. You heard of
I've heard of Gorka Morka.
Okay, dude.
I've heard of like it, but I know nothing about the game. Like I know what Mordheim is, what it's supposed to be. I don't know what Gorka Morka is supposed to be.
Gorka Morka was in the 40K universe, and it had orcs in vehicles, and it was like very vehicle combat. It was like 40K-ish rules, but had a bunch of special vehicle rules.
Okay.
And you just fucking drive around in the sand and shoot your orcs at each other. It was pretty fun.
Okay, cool.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Are
Yeah.
you into board games that have miniatures? Things like stuff that Simon makes, like Blood Rage, Zombicide, etc.
I'm fine with that stuff. I go to Gen Con, I try out all those games.
Okay.
So I stay up on that. I don't own like any games, but I stay up on the games.
Okay, cool.
That's smart. It's smart to test them out, but not fall into the giant boxes full of crap.
Yeah.
You know.
You go to Gen Con for a weekend, you can literally test like 100 games. So you don't have to have a fucking game room. You could just buy the good games and
That's
not buy the
nice.
bad games.
That's nice. Okay, your turn. I've done like 3 questions in a row
Yeah, he just took my Preamble Ramble topic
and did it better than you.
from me.
Yeah.
All right. Ben, finish this sentence. If I were on a desert island.
Wait, this is just a question formatted in a different way.
Shut up. If I, Benjamin Kantor, were on a desert island and I had 3 pots of paint and I could only paint for the rest of my life with those 3 colors, what would they be?
I would bring.
I said me, Benjamin Kantor.
Okay.
I mean, I guess I would just being like a black, a white, and I don't know, just fucking give up the third one because I
give it up.
I'm not gonna paint with one color, so just take a black and a white and paint grayscale like an asshole.
Okay. I mean, it's a trick question, Ben. Obviously,
Oh, is it?
the answer is black, white, and yellow, and then you use your own blood for red.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah. I have a plan, and I don't know if I did some research to figure out if I'll actually be able to pull this off because I want to paint a Blit Mini only in my own blood to see if YouTube will actually let me do it, and I think you can.
Why wouldn't you be able to do it?
Because of their terms and conditions of self-harm.
Just don't show yourself slitting your own wrists on camera.
I collected it from myself from some orifice.
Yeah. Don't sacrifice a goat on camera and then like.
This is already the darkest trapped under the darkest tub.
Yeah.
So
just bringing that up. Yeah.
do you need to do a warning or?
Right.
Warning?
Yeah. Warning. Do not attempt anything that any of us say ever.
It's easily the darkest tub, you guys, and we're fucking like 2 minutes in.
Have you seen every episode?
I've at least seen most of them.
Wow.
Can I nag you on your own podcast?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes you guys have opinions, and I'm like, don't agree with them. I'm like, I can't fucking do this anymore. I turn it off.
Dude, give me one.
I can't remember anything specific. Sometimes I'm heavily dissenting. I'm like these guys are so wrong.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I wish I knew. Okay, you can't remember a single one.
No, I mean not specifically. It's just sometimes there's hot takes. Sometimes you qualify your hot takes as like we don't really know anything about this, but we're gonna have a hot take on it.
Okay.
That's most of what we do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No research goes into the podcast.
No. But next time that happens, you message us.
Yeah.
You're like, excuse me?
Then we can fight about it on next time.
No, I don't want to be that guy. I just want to turn your podcast off. I mostly listen to them. No,
That's cool. See, it always surprises me when people of any kind of repute listen to our podcast because who are we? Nobody. Yeah. How plugged into the miniature painting scene are you?
I'm pretty plugged in, but hold on, just go back to the last thing you were saying. I would just to diminish you guys a little bit. I would say that I said at work I usually listen to 8 hours of podcasts a day.
Oh, okay.
So
okay,
easy to fit you in. I also listen to double speed, so you're only worth like 30 minutes to me.
Wait,
I recently got into that. The 1.5.
Yeah.
I can't go faster than 1.5, man.
You gotta train your brain.
I guess.
You gotta
depends.
get acclimated to 1.5, take it up to 1.6. If you go to 2.0, you're just gonna fry yourself.
yeah,
Oh, man.
it's too much information too fast.
Yeah.
So seriously, you listen to all podcasts at 2 times speed?
Yeah.
Okay.
There is a lot of pausing
Okay.
that happens, and people speak slow in general. Like I suddenly feel like I'm speaking really slow right now. Up us up to 1.5, guys, right now. See what happens.
So yeah, I feel like I speak too fast, but I guess not. Okay, Ben,
What's up?
you make a fantasy miniature painting team. Who's on your team?
How many people do I get?
You get 4.
I get 4.
Yeah.
And you can't say us because you would obviously pick us.
Obviously.
So you can't say us 4 others to make your starting 5.
Yeah.
Okay, so I get 4 people on my team.
Yeah.
I'll take Kirill.
Okay.
Okay. I'll take Lan, aka Michael Pizarski.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take Craft World Studio.
Yeah.
That's 2 people.
Yeah.
And
No,
but
you
it counts-
can't. That doesn't count.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
It counts as 1, but you get both of them. You can only use one of them at a time on your team.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. You don't suddenly
like a
have a
tag
5-person team. Yeah. It's like they tag in and out.
Right.
And then I'll take Rum in the Pot.
Okay.
Okay. That's a Harlem Globetrotter squad right there. But Scott and I are going to start the Washington Generals. And we're going to come for your squad.
Wait, what is the Washington Generals?
That's the team in green that always plays the Harlem Globetrotters and gets dunked on for 60 minutes.
Really?
You lost both of us on that reference.
Yeah. Oh, God.
So I've seen the Harlem Globetrotters live, I think twice.
They always play the same team.
Really?
It's always the Washington Generals.
Okay.
And they just get dunked on for 60 minutes.
Wait, so you just basically said that we're going to lose?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's the joke, but now that you spell it out,
Yeah, it's kind of shit.
it's not funny.
Okay, so just so I understand, you're saying the Washington Generals only exist to lose embarrassingly to the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yes.
All right.
They are part of the shtick.
Well, when you take those 4 people, what's left? To compete.
Right. I think we got plenty of hot guns.
Yeah.
That could come at that team.
You got Banshee.
Right. Or when Kirill's in the little boys' room getting ready for the painting thing, you just take a bat to his kneecaps.
Oh yeah, just yeah.
Sabotage always works.
Incapacitate him.
Yes. Unfortunately, someone would wheel him in and he'd still paint.
Yeah. You got to break his knuckles and his fingers.
Pizarski's got a brother who's apparently really good.
Yes, he is, and also paints a lot like Land did 5 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just get his brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there are the world of miniature painting is bigger than that.
Yeah. We could have a full 32 teams league. We should do a draft.
See, I want to do a fantasy miniature painting thing, but there isn't enough competition around the year to like acquire enough points to like really work it out.
Oh, that would be pretty cool.
You know, there's no teams. You know, there needs to be like a Spanish team with like a roster that like go to every event and they're paid to do that.
I think they used to do that.
No,
They didn't get paid, but they used to show up with like,
oh yeah, Team Spain. Yeah,
Team
Team Spain.
Spain.
Yeah, absolutely.
why can't we represent like that?
We can.
We're going to
America.
talk about that.
We're a decision away from that, Ben.
Okay.
One decision that we're going to discuss.
We need
Yeah.
we need American flag headbands.
We need
Oh,
we
yeah.
need Eric Swinston. We need Cat Martin. We need Sam Lenz. We need Anthony Wang. We need what else?
Ben. We need Ben.
Who's Ben? Oh, yeah,
we need Marika Reimer, you guys.
Rika Reimer,
Actually,
Jen Haley?
Marika Reimer should really be the team captain.
Jen Haley,
Yeah, Jen Haley.
Jen Haley. Okay,
We have a team. We're going to get jerseys. I'm most excited about the swag.
Team America.
Yeah.
We've
Team
got
America.
we've got good people.
Fuck yeah.
Kind of.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We're gonna have a what do they call it in baseball? A farm system. That's what we need. We need
yeah.
a farm system where we cultivate all the young talent.
Yeah.
So then there's always a new hot gun that's coming up because we have supported them.
Ben's got a thing for baseball.
Yeah, dude.
You like baseball?
He was trying to make baseball analogies repeatedly last night to help me understand something about miniature painting. Trying to use something that I understand a lot, but finding it in terms of something I understand not at all.
Scott doesn't know what a pinch hitter is.
I do know what a pinch hitter is.
no.
I thought it was someone who bats only for a pitcher, but it's someone who bats for anyone in a pinch. Okay. I was close.
Sorry that had to come out on the podcast. So
Okay,
our comment section is-
I don't know sports. I don't eat sports. Okay. Moving on
right.
from the Preamble Ramble, where I'm slowly losing my grasp on the power here.
Yeah.
What have we painted
What have we
lately?
painted?
Ben, why don't you get us started off here? In the last month.
And last month,
Well, how often do you paint?
I paint every day. I paint a lot of shit in the last month.
Hell yeah. Okay. And last
Okay.
week, what'd you paint?
Last week, sure.
Last week, I have been painting 28 millimeter miniatures just as like a golden demon warm up because I realized I don't paint 28 millimeter miniatures very well. I'm like kind of bad at it. So I've, especially because I haven't painted in a while. So I've been just kind of dicking around, like putting paint on 28 millimeter miniatures without trying to actually finish them.
Okay. So, keeping that in mind, is your like selection for Golden Demon going to be something that is like a larger figure?
No, just like a little baby figure.
Little baby. Okay.
It's he's not doing what's that new big demon that just came out?
Bellicor.
Because Bellicor is basically a 72 millimeter model.
No, he's not.
He's big. He's like that tall, dude.
Yeah,
that
but
would take me like 300 hours.
He's tall, but he doesn't live in a 72 millimeter world. And also, top of the head to his feet, he isn't 72 millimeters tall. Is he? Is he that big? Is he this tall?
Yeah, dude.
Really?
Yeah, he's big.
For all you listeners, Scott has his fingers fully extended.
My baby hands.
Like 5 inches. He's like 5 inches tall. Anyway,
Okay.
But I totally feel that, Ben. I went through some times where I mostly just painted bigger stuff, and then I went back to trying to paint something well at the standard 28 millimeter size. It's like a different muscle. It's you used the average, the 80% mark of work on that versus the 80% mark work on a big model. It's just such a different process.
See, unlike you two rookies, I'm always good at painting 28 mil. That's what I grew up on. It's my background.
I don't think I've ever been good at painting 28 millimeter, and I just now am like realizing that, so I need to put in the work.
Yeah. You gotta get used to it. Same for doing the reverse, getting used to large scale.
Have you found anything in your practice thus far that's been like an aha or a like, this is a key thing that I know I need to do differently than how I do it with a bigger figure?
Yeah, I need to not slap paint on the miniature like a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
And because you can ruin detail, you can like make a mess, and that's what I do on larger scale. I just can't do it.
Okay.
Yeah. there's so many little fiddly bits. Especially, I mean, we're talking Golden Demon. We're talking about GW miniatures. We're talking about 10,000 tiny details on there.
Yeah.
And it's. I mean, I still see like if you're painting like a Space Marine, you can still be bold with your main color, but you're also being bold and a lot less slapping because there's a lot less surface area.
Less slapping in the base.
Slap
What
at the base.
28 mil models have you painted? Like specifically which ones?
Specifically, which ones?
Yeah.
Just go way back. I've painted some Space Marines.
Well, I mean, like in the last week.
In last week. I thought you meant like, because I've only painted like 12 total in my life. So I was just to tell you the 12 that I painted in my life.
Okay, sure, you can do that too.
Okay. In the past week, I painted 2 of the 12 that I've ever painted.
Okay.
In the past week, I painted an Intercessor Space Marine.
Okay.
Which actually, your Discord helped me because I was like, I had to ask them what Space Marines were, the new ones.
Okay, sure. So you asked like, what should I paint? Or, like, what's a good standard one?
Yeah, because I was like, I used to paint tactical Marines, but now I see all these other weird Marines. I don't understand them. And so they were helping me out.
Okay.
And apparently the Intercessors are like the big new chunky ones.
Yeah.
Or Primaris Intercessors.
There you go.
I don't know what that means. It's just words to me. But
Yeah.
I painted one of those guys. He was pretty cool.
Okay.
And then I painted I don't know, some kind of chaos guy from one of the board games. I don't know. I can't. There's so much shit. I lose track of it.
Is it 40K?
He was part of the Warhammer Fantasy or Age of Sigmar universe.
One of the Warcry maybe.
Yeah. He was from a Warcry warband.
Okay.
How the fuck did you just guess that?
Because I have a big brain.
There are so many things that it could be based on his description. You just guessed Warcry and we're right.
Well, I went through order of operations of what's been recent, what's chaos. He said fantasy. What's big in that recently? That's obviously Warcry warbands.
Your brain.
Was
is
it the
so
guy?
right.
Was it the guys that look like He-Man and used like bone weapons?
Yeah, exactly.
Boom.
Oh, fuck. There's like 12 tribes. You get the right one. Whatever. Fuck it. All right. What else?
That's it. I just painted those 2.
Cool.
And maybe we can get Ben to show us pictures of his versions of them, and we can put them on the screen too.
Yeah. Sure. Okay.
I'm saying that now so we don't forget, and then
Yes.
Amber will message him when she hears this.
They're bad.
What did you paint, Scotty?
I didn't paint anything, but I further assembled this mess of a building. So last time I mentioned I was cutting out parts of styrene on a cricket to make a sci-fi building. My math is wrong.
Oh no!
So wrong. I mean, look at all these gaps.
Hey, Scott.
It's disgusting. What?
What's a cricket?
Oh, a cricket is that thing.
It looks like a printer.
It's a vinyl cutter, essentially.
For you listeners, Scott's pointing at some contraption that makes no sense to me.
So it's a vinyl cutter. It's essentially an X-Acto blade attached to like a CNC system. And so you can upload an SVG and it'll cut stuff for you. And you can set this particular one to a custom setting and define what the cut pressure is and the amount of passes it does. And so it can cut through styrene that's thin enough. And so I made a plan, an SVG for a little building, and I cut it out. And I'm assembling it. And it's supposed to be, this is the office space for like a sci-fi car repair place. And this is going to be the garage eventually. And it's going to be attached like so. There are areas where it really works out. It's really cool. I'm really proud of this ramp.
Yeah.
I like the texture that you can see under there. But obviously there's lots of gap filling and sanding that's going to need to happen. Because nothing worked out perfectly. But there's some cool things. I like that little thing. I don't know what it is.
I mean, I think it looks pretty cool. I will say that, like, if you were to attempt to make that without your fancy cutting cricket and you try to do that by hand, it's
impossible.
It would not look 20% as good. So
Yeah. That is kind of the point of the video, is that a lot of terrain hobbyists limit themselves for the sake of the audience, which is like a very endearing thing because they want their tutorials to be easy to follow. And I'm just curious, if one didn't limit their tool set, how good could it get for a scratch build? So I'm using this. I'm using a 3D printer and some other things to see how good it can get. That's what I did.
Okay. Well, to break the fourth wall here a little bit, we are recording this a bit ahead of schedule, so we have not had a lot of time since our last recording. So
Been
that's
1 week. Yeah.
I'm hedging on not having done much.
Oh, okay.
Because my video came out, and so I spent most of the week getting that already. But last Friday I was here to stream, and I painted the Wispy Beard Man
Yes.
on stream.
Wait, didn't you? With the worm thing. Did you talk about that last episode?
Yeah, because
Okay.
that was painted It's typically my process is for a video is I give myself 1 week to paint the thing and then 1 week to make the video.
Sure.
I do a video every other week, and I'm trying to figure out this math of how I can take that and condense it to put out more videos, but my brain can't figure that out yet.
Just sleep less.
Sleep less, drink more. That's what I need.
Drink what?
Whatever's
Diet do.
Ice purple alcohol. But I did paint Wispy Beard in about 2 hours here.
Yeah,
And
you crushed it.
Wispy Beard is an example of, it doesn't look great because I painted that like I'd paint something big. Like it was all about having drama and not about having the individual pieces really separate. So there's a lot of samey same going on in that for the purpose of an overall feel or theme to it. But I took it home and I had a little bit of revelation on it, and maybe I'll have it finished by the time the pictures can come up here. That I wanted a little bit more drama to it with the darkness.
Drama.
Darkness.
So I think I'm going to try out that pan liner, the black Tamiya pan liner, and just certain very specific parts to really create a hard black line to add a little bit of breaking up of the surfaces. And then I'm going to go through, he's got this big kind of cloak over his whole head, and that's really bright on top. I thought it might be cool if I tried to freehand like a bloody cultist, like runes or something on that spot.
That's
to
cool.
Just do that, and of course some blood splatter all over. So,
are you doing that today on the podcast or on the live?
I'm not painting today. I didn't bring anything to paint.
Okay.
You're
on the mic.
I'm on the mic,
DJ John,
and I'm gonna handle the audience. I'm gonna handle them.
Okay.
While you two do the Lord's work.
Have you ever speed painted a 32 scale mill model? Wow.
So you guys haven't gone to Gen Con.
No.
Because
we
if you
haven't.
had,
There's a
you would-
competition, isn't there?
no, you would know that basically 10 hours a day, every hour, they're running speed painting competition.
Oh, jeez.
Every single hour on the hour, fucking like 12 people bang out that speed paint.
In an hour.
Yeah, well, yeah, you basically every hour on the hour you have like they don't run it for a whole hour. It's like 45 or 50 minute speed paint.
Okay.
Every one of those that gets run has a winner, and then if you win one of the rounds, you can come back on Sunday for like the all-star round.
Oh.
So you can win speed painting. You can win speed painting at Gen Con.
Okay.
I want to do that. I really want to do
So
that.
are you lining this up to say that you
Did you compete?
competed and you won?
I think 1 year I got third.
Overall.
Yeah. But here's the thing though. I wouldn't say I cheated, but like they're very like loose at Gen Con.
Sure.
I didn't actually win one of the heats, but I showed up on Sunday to see if any speed at Gen Con, the rule of the speed painting is if somebody doesn't show up and there's a seat, somebody can take the seat.
Okay.
So I didn't actually win one of the heats. I think there was some like total murderer in I don't remember who it was, but it was like a very, very dangerous person in the one that I did.
This is a mini painting shark in your heat.
Shark.
Yeah.
There's a shark that won. And then but I came back on Sunday. I was like, hey, did anybody show up? Is there an extra seat? And they're like, yeah, sure, sit down. And then I got third, and like a couple people were pissed at me.
I mean, if you got third overall, why would they be pissed at you?
Right.
Like you should have been there in the first place.
They weren't like actually pissed, but they like, I got a little passive aggressive shade.
Okay,
But Gen Con's a very friendly place. I don't want to.
It's a happy place.
So the answer to the question is yes, you have, and you are equipped. You have the talent to do it.
I actually over that particular Gen, I don't remember what year it was, that particular Gen Con actually changed my whole speed painting approach over the course of the weekend.
Because you learned something from someone else, or because you were just forced into it because of the environment?
I was asking all the sharks questions because I was like, I don't know how to speed paint or shit. How to speed paint.
Okay.
And then they were telling me how to speed paint. I was like, okay, I could do that.
Okay.
So.
What's the top two pieces of advice for that you picked up?
I guess I would say number one is just to, as much as possible, focus on the front of the model and focus on the face.
Okay.
Like,
Sure.
Just that like if you have a really like well painted face, that's what people are going to look at.
Right.
And then also the other thing is just to think about, when you're looking at the speed painted models in this particular environment, it's not like you're looking at them at case or something they're not well lit. It's kind of like in shitty lighting, and you want to in order to pop out at the judges, you want something that looks really good from like 5 feet away, because the judges are going to like pick a few out to look at closer. So you want something that just pops out from like multiple feet away, like just grabs your attention, like very high contrast, just very high contrast color scheme. So just to get it in their hand, they might not even look at it.
You want the model to pop, essentially.
Yeah, pop.
So like you're using probably more bold colors than maybe you would typically use, just to be like, geez, that one jumps out at me.
You know where you can look to find out how to make miniatures pop, John?
Where? In the last episode of the podcast.
Episode of the podcast, dude. It's all
Right.
about popping.
It's popping miniatures. So when you listen to how to make your miniatures pop,
Great type back.
you can yell at us of how we screwed it up.
Yeah.
So again, we're callback into callback.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah. It's a cyclical
What's the word?
I can't say that word. Cyclical callback. Wow, that's tough. Okay. That's what we painted. On the topic for today, which is set by Ben here, and we're just gonna let Ben.
But we do topic or we do news?
No, news is after the topic.
All right, because last episode we did news, then topic. So.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we did.
I run the show. You're wrong. Okay, Ben's gonna just talk at us, and we're gonna just ask a million questions, and it's about the American miniature painting scene and why he's been researching it so deeply, why it's relevant right now. Ben, over to you.
Gentlemen. We really are at a very, very strange confluence of I think there's been probably just a strange confluence of events before, but they like predate me. It's definitely the weirdest time I've experienced because you have a confluence of COVID.
Okay.
And then you
You whispered that like it was like a bad curse or something.
it is a curse. It's a curse upon all of our houses.
I suppose so.
It is the Voldemort of our generation.
It's a very
Yeah.
biblical phrase. It's a curse upon my house.
Yeah. The Rona.
You got the Rona.
You got the Covey.
Yeah.
You got that situation. But then you also have like just absolutely coincidentally, the last year of the Crystal Brush was the year before the Rona. So we have that situation, and then we were supposed to have Golden Demon in 2020, but because of the Rona, that we don't have it. Like that, all those things kind of happening at once. I mean, it makes it sound like miniature painting is like the center of the universe or something, and the Rona is all about that. But
Yeah.
that's just like a lot of things happening.
Yeah. So you might say there's a miniature painting competitive drought right now.
Yeah,
And everyone's thirsty.
you could say that.
Yeah.
You could say people are thirsty.
Okay.
I'm thirsty. I wasn't thirsty before, but I've gotten thirsty.
Okay. So we have a situation. Golden Demon's coming up at Adepticon in 2022. And what does that mean for us?
I mean, like, for the record, I sure fucking hope so.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it?
Well, I don't know if you remember back in March 2020 when Adepticon 2020 got canceled, everybody was saying, see you guys in 2021. Well, at least we have 2021. Have to wait a year, but I'll see you guys in 2021.
Yeah.
Hey, did that happen?
No, it didn't.
Okay.
Okay. So what's the percentage here, though? I feel like it's kind of like a 95-5 situation.
Wow, dude. You're really coming in guns blazing.
What do you think it is?
75 to 80%.
Yeah.
Does that scare you, John?
Immensely. Yes.
Yeah, because last time we missed a con,
Dude,
you were a wreck of a human being.
I was a wreck of a human being for like 3 months. It was bad. Like it affected everything in me because I was building up for that. And I think I want to just take a half step back, Ben. Do you think the drama, the turmoil, the changing of the guard that happened for Adepticon 2019, going back to the last one, right?
Last Crystal Brush, 2019, yeah.
Yeah. That was the last taste in our mouths, especially in America, for competitive miniature painting. So we went from a great season of change, a dirty taste in our mouths, to the desert. Do you think that helped or hurt or what is where we're at today?
I mean, those are I think those are the big strokes. I mean, obviously we had a whole rest of the year worth of cons in 2019. You know, we had like Gen Con, ReaperCon, Nova. We had all the other cons, but you know, I don't think anybody's going to dispute that Adepticon is the biggest one, like in terms of importance, maybe.
In terms of like competitive miniature painting, I don't think the other ones stack up.
No.
To Crystal Brush, yeah.
I appreciate that they all, as far as I know, they all have some level of painting competition there.
Yeah.
So it's not just that it's non-existent. And I like that there is other options, and you can get more people exposed to competitive miniature painting through them. But yes, you're right. The throne is firmly taken.
Yeah.
Well, at least it was by Crystal Brush, and then the assumption is that that the existence of Golden Demon at Adepticon will continue to cement Adepticon as being the most important convention. That's the assumption,
Right?
But it hasn't actually happened yet. So,
True.
And you know,
and the other thing too is we're talking about a painting competition that is run by a company that isn't on American soil, as opposed to Crystal Brush, which adds another monkey wrench in here for Adepticon 2022. Adepticon 2022 could still happen, but based on different countries' restrictions where they're at with the fighting of the virus, they might just not be able to come or choose not to come. And Adepticon could still happen. But
How terrible would that be? Wow.
The fact that Games Workshop made their official announcement that they're back, they're coming, they had promos, they had marketing, they had visuals, whatever. It kind of shocked me that they did it that early.
Yeah.
There's, on one side, like I feel like for the planning stages, truly May is about when the Adepticon crew really start the planning stuff. So they probably had to say, look, we're starting the planning stuff now. May and June, July are like their heavy lifting, get all their ducks in a row months. We need to know. And the thing is, there has to be a first one at some point. At some point, someone's pulling off the Band-Aid and it's the first big event, ideally knock on wood post-Corona or a livable version of Corona. So why not us? Why are they not, they say, look, all the science is telling us by the time we get there, we have to make a call now, by the time we get there, we should be good. But that's still a lot of time between now and then.
we're supposed to have a Gen Con this year in September. They pushed it, or usually at the end of July, early August. So they pushed it 2 months basically to the end of September.
That's surprising to me because I feel like conventions are so strict about when they have their cons.
Mm-hmm.
Like the stupidest one is Nova Open and ReaperCon being at the same time.
The same weekend?
Yeah, why can't they pick a different weekend so people can go to both? I've never understood that. But yeah, so that's shocking that Gen Con, which is like the biggest, I don't know, I would call it the biggest geek convention in the world, is going to move their dates. But I suppose it's for an extreme situation.
Also, it's a major economic boom for the Indianapolis area.
Okay.
And so I'm sure that there is some collaboration between the city, the city council and all that kind of stuff, Chamber of Commerce and everything, to get them there, to make it work, because that local economy suffers greatly from them not having that event. So
I think it's the biggest event in Indiana.
Yeah.
They've been sending out surveys every couple months for people who have attended, like me, asking questions like, would you attend if there's hand sanitizer? Would you attend if the crowds it was a reduced capacity? And I've been I want to hook them up with some information. So I've been answering the questionnaires, but I think overall the questionnaire is really stupid, because let's not act like Gen Con isn't just a filthy swarm of nerds. There's no hand sanitizing your way out of the massive human filth that is Gen Con.
Just a slip and slide is the entrance filled with, just lube yourself up with hand sanitizer. You got to go down the slip and slide to go in the front doors.
Yeah, everyone gets in their little hamster wheels and just rolls through the con.
Bubble boy. Okay.
And I wrote them a paragraph, just I literally wrote at the end of the survey, I was like, hey guys, this is me typing. Hey guys, real talk. We all know how filthy this convention is. The only people who are going to come who are people who aren't scared of the Rona, because of either they're just the kind of people who are I'm not scared of it, or they got vaccinated. But anybody who's actually worried for whatever personal reason they have about getting this virus, none of those people are going to come to your convention.
Right.
So they either have to have one of two reasons, theoretically, not to come or to come. And those are the people who are going to come to convention.
Okay.
Right. Yep.
So do you think for that reason, is the competition at Golden Demon going to be easier?
I think that the competition at Golden Demon is going to be the steepest, toughest competition that we've ever seen on American soil. Mark my words.
Yeah. So that's what I would say. In any year where the coronavirus wasn't a thing, say it happened and it caused this drought and then it went away entirely and there was no fear for it, I would agree with you entirely. But because there is still people who are not going to want to travel because of that issue, it'll be a little bit less steeper. But you're saying despite that, it's still going to be very intense.
I think you have, multiple, like, let's use your term. I think you've got multiple sharks that have essentially
infinite time.
Let's talk about my favorite golden demon shark, Richard Gray. I think Richard Gray has 2 years worth of entries, and I think, and I don't. This is me totally speculating, but this is what's happening. Richard Gray is going to bring 2 years of entries to USA Golden Demon 2022. He's going to probably win a bunch of shit, and then anything that he either didn't enter or didn't win with, he is going to take then to the next one, which is slated to be in the UK like a month later. I think he's going to get his money's worth out of his 2 years worth of entries.
Yeah, I think you're right. That there's going to be a balance. We're going to have a bunch of sharks that can't come or won't come or whatever. But to make up for that, we have all these amazing painters that have 2 years of work under their belt that they can bring with. Where usually I could do one piece or two pieces. Now they just have, well, let me open the cabinet. For all these things I painted that haven't seen light of day, it's just the volume of great paint jobs that are going to be there. It's just going to be murderer's row.
Yeah, it's a huge. I think, and it's not just that. It's like the huge backlog from any European, but then also if you look at the Americans, because we haven't had a golden demon since 2013, there might be some Americans with great painted GW minis from like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
That, the golden demon doesn't have any restriction on having entered a previous competition, or you could even have won. Like Michael Pizarski won. He won with his what's it called? His big diorama.
The Nagash and
the tribute to Nagash thing.
The tribute, yeah. He won both Crystal Brush and a Slayer sword with that thing.
Yep.
He just brought on over to Golden Demon. They're like, we love it too. Here's a Slayer sword, Mikal.
Take another. I mean, it was just a piece that's just mind-blowingly phenomenal. But yeah, I think we've unpacked that before on the podcast too about touring your piece.
Yeah. It might be strategic to just not enter this year and wait for 2022.
Everyone blows
23, sorry.
Blows their load.
Yeah, and you're just like, whoop, to slip in, Is that a strategy?
I mean, that's a very poor strategy.
Poor. Are you saying that because it's like you're being a pussy? Is that why you're saying that?
I wasn't going to gender it, but if you want to gender it, sure.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. The way I'm thinking about it is maybe this earning this Slayer sword is going to mean something more to the people who are entering in it. But entering the 2023 Golden Demon and getting a Slayer sword there is still like an equivalent to any other Golden Demon event. Right?
Yeah, there's not like a podium where you're also Slayer Sword winner, but you were further down the podium. I hadn't even thought of this, Ben. I'm curious what your thoughts are on this. It's going to have the most accolade. This is going to be the most drama around whoever wins.
Right? Because it's like, this person was better.
Like, how do you... There's going to be 25 pieces there that could get a Slayer Sword. Like, it's just going to be a mess.
Yeah.
Right? Or am I wrong?
I know. I think it's gonna be a mess, and I've been heavily researching the Golden Demon as a competition, and I think that I'm not gonna name any specific years or any specific models, but there are definitely models where a child could look at it and see that the best painted model was not the one that won the Slayer sword. Yeah. And it's because the Golden Demon is a very specific competition, and they're looking for very specific things. And I mean, and I'm not saying that the best models necessarily won at Crystal Brush either, but I think there's way more, if you look at the things that have won or not won in Golden Demon, there's way more of a disparity between like, well, why is that winning? And like this one that is running circles around this other one, why is that either getting third place or not placing at all? Yeah. I think it's just because they have this weird technical fetish of like wanting to see certain things. It's just a very different competition. So I think there's gonna be drama. I mean, I don't think people have to make it into drama.
Right.
Like that's all personal choices. Personal people making personal choices. But I think there's gonna be inevitably there's gonna be some obvious discrepancies.
Mm-hmm. They're very traditionally They're very tuned to a certain style and aesthetic of your finished piece.
Yeah.
That fits their narrative. In some regards, I don't even fault them for that they want to showcase their products in a way that is most palatable at the highest level of painting to their audience, or in their eyes, what they think their audience is. Like, what's going to look best in the pages of a golden demon, or a white dwarf.
Right.
You know? And maybe that's traditional. I don't know. I mean, it could have changed over time. I don't know. 2 years or 200 years, I don't know which it's been, has passed since we last had a painting competition. Maybe everything's off, you know.
To compound this more, you have a lot of American painter sharks who have no online presence, but have taken golden demons and Slayer Swords away, and just kind of like just evaporate into the ether and then come back up when it happens. I'm thinking of like Todd Swanson. I don't think he has much of a presence, but he's a phenomenal painter, and he's gotten Slayer Swords in the past. So I gotta imagine people like that, if not Todd himself, will also be there competing, right? People you don't even think of because they don't have an Instagram, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Here's a controversial opinion though.
Okay,
ready? The last Golden Demon USA was in 2013.
Yeah,
I think that if you took a Slayer Sword winner from Golden Demon USA 2013 and entered it 2022, I don't think it would even win a Golden Demon, let alone a Slayer Sword.
That's not necessarily controversial. I agree with that. But the thing is, if Todd is painting like that in 2013 and he's painting at the same rate that he was in the prior 5 years, what's he painting like now, right? Probably really well, right? Because he's going to improve. He's going to adjust his style when the style adjusts and things like that, like we all do. So yeah, I'm making an assumption that people like Todd exist and they kind of fly under the radar. But yeah, that's what I think.
I think that every year that goes by, that's more and more of a unicorn, though.
Really?
Yeah, I think
I think you're right.
The advent of the ease of use and the value of Instagram, strictly from a miniature painting perspective, even if we're not looking at anything else. Like I don't follow a single person on Instagram that isn't a mini painter. So
really,
but there's so much value in just inspiration and seeing what everyone's doing or whatever, and it's so easy to take even a crappy picture with your phone that can turn out pretty decent and put it on there. Okay. I'd be surprised if someone's going to put 100+ hours into a piece that they don't want to show it to don't want to show it to people. I'm sure there are people out there, but I truly think that every year that goes by, that's more and more rare. You're creating art because you want people to appreciate your art, right? That's weird to not do that.
That's true. I tried to find someone, or I tried to find Todd on Instagram and I couldn't find him.
Yeah, I don't know this factually, but I think that a lot of those like American heavy hitters that were winning Golden Demons in like the 2000s up till 2013, when the Golden Demon evaporated, they continued to play the game. They continued to paint, but I think they mostly were painting just like really nice tabletop.
Yes.
Again, I don't know this factually, but I actually did meet Todd once at an Adepticon. He was there. He just didn't enter anything in the Crystal Brush because I think he was there for the Warhammer and not the Crystal Brush. It's kind of like, I think, different circles of people.
Yeah, so you have people like Tom Ailes, Damon Drescher, Todd Swanson, who have been very successful in the past, and now I just kind of taken a little bit of a backseat approach. Like, it's like, whatever, I've done what I come to do. I'm not interested in doing anything more.
I think you're right, though. There's a forking path there somewhere in the history of Golden Demons where I think it mostly started, or entirely started, as people that played the games and they painted their armies and they just tried a little harder, or they tried something new, or they really went all out for this one thing. But still, it wasn't solely about the painting. And then at some point, paths diverged, and we saw people like Banshee, like Angel Heraldez, that they kind of started in that realm too, and then they just kept going in the painting side. And while others we're still mostly gaming focused, but we still want to paint our cool tabletop high level. Somewhere in the late 2000s, I think those roads diverged, and that's where we see where we're at now, where it's just like whole hog painting and how quickly it's evolved. I mean, even like 4 years ago, I think, our first Adepticon, like the quality of the best pieces there to eat, like the stuff I'm seeing on Instagram today, it's like, gosh, like everybody's gotten way better in a tiny amount of time. Yeah. It's nuts. It really is just, I can't.
All right.
It's because of YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, let's slow down here. What the fuck is this topic about? Ben, what are we talking about? Are you going to give us the list of bullet points to hit if you want to win Golden Demon, or is that treasured information that you want to keep to yourself, which is very reasonable?
First of all, as someone who's never even entered Golden Demon,
Right.
let alone won a Golden Demon, I think that anybody taking my opinion seriously is a fool.
Right. Yeah.
But I have done a lot of
research.
research. I've done a lot of research. Yeah, it's kind of like trying to think of a metaphor. It's like researching. It's like researching all about like French cuisine and like trying to tell people that actually live in France. Like, oh, this is what I found about French cuisine. It's like, okay, yeah, but you guys actually live there, so
Right.
But I guess for a lot of Americans who haven't actually experienced it, you know, like now we're talking about Golden Demon, not French cuisine. For the Americans who haven't actually experienced Golden Demon, yeah, what I was saying before is I think that I have a high level of information for someone who has not actually been to the competition.
Okay.
Because I've been doing deep research. Also, by the way, you know, really a lot of that research that came from Vince, who has made multiple videos about his experiences. He's like one of the only Americans who's actually gone over in the past since 2013 to the Golden Demon. He's actually made a lot of videos about the Golden Demon, about his experiences there, about what his takeaways were from the competition. So I actually think that is like step one, is just watch Vince videos.
Okay.
Which is usually step one for anything.
Yeah, it really is, because he's got a video on it, whatever the step one is.
So, I mean, there you go. But, so yeah, like really to before I say anything, just to give credit to Vince, who's really the pioneer. He's really the explorer.
Yeah.
Really setting foot on foreign lands for us to really lead the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
He brought back some medals with him too.
Did he?
Yeah,
he
won.
Got some demons.
Did he bring his knight with a bunch of amazing freehand on it?
I don't remember what he won with. I apologize, Vince.
He won for
I
a
know.
squad.
He did one. Oh, yeah, it was the Necromunda squad. I think,
Oh, yes.
which we saw in person. That was the only time I've ever
Yeah.
seen it in person, I think. And it is amazing. Yeah.
I like it a lot because it's not just a squad entry on like a plaque. It has like a whole like terrain diorama thing going on with it, with like graffiti and stuff, and that was really cool.
Yeah, and there's a picture of him holding his demon, and he has like a timid little smirk on his face. And in the video, he's like, "Hey, you can't tell from this picture, but I'm actually the happiest I've ever been in my life. And I just don't show it on my face necessarily." I was like, "I believe you."
Yeah. That's Vince, though. That's Vince.
Dude, Vince is totally different, man. Ever since I met Vince, he's just like I love him, man. He's so much fun to be with and paint with. He's a great guy. Okay, step one: watch Vince's experiences at Golden Demon. Watch those videos. He talks about it. That's helpful. There are things we know about Golden Demon. We can glean it from what the box arts look like. They are a fan of technical painting that is very clean and very precise. We know that. What else?
Okay, you ready for the bullet points?
Yeah.
Now that
Okay.
we have our Vince.
Do you want to give it up?
I have nothing to give up. This is just
Give up.
like an amateur research.
Okay.
There's nothing to give up.
All right.
Like this is like amateur level research, but it was a lot of amateur level research. So, all right. So yeah, here are the bullet points. I think the bullet points are number one, and you've got to pick. And I'm saying, just to be clear, for these bullet points, I'm saying things that like things you should do to help yourself rather than hurt yourself.
Sure.
I think you could pick. Technically, you could pick an awful model from the 1980s, like pewter model, and paint it in some amazing way and do something crazy with it, and like with a Slayer sword. Like, but that's like triple hard mode.
Yeah. Right.
So everything I say is the easiest possible path to Golden Demon.
Right.
Not necessarily making it hard for yourself. So
we're,
if you
not,
want to make
we're not all Albert Font or whatever his name is. Right.
Ayathami Alantho Torrent.
Yeah.
Yeah, who has been painting pewter models and making them look like they're produced in 2022. That's like triple hard mode. That's like that guy can do it, and like I can't, and you can't. No offense,
Right.
You listeners can't. You guys can't do that. No, none of us can do that. Okay. So shortest possible path to the goal. I would say pick a model that's come out within the past. If you really want to make it easier for yourself, something that's come out since the last Golden Demon, then has a model that hasn't even been entered in the Golden Demon before.
Right.
If you really want to make it easier, so a brand like a new within past 2 years model, pick one of those. And then I would pick one that hasn't been painted by someone else so well that yours is going to look bad in comparison to people's memory of it.
Sure.
Right.
Like there's some that are so good that it's like that is like burnt into everybody's memory as like that is like the hero version of that model. it's just like, you're never going to paint it that well. I'm not going to paint it that well. You're not going to paint it that well. So just pick something that's not had an amazing version of it done.
Okay.
Or if you're going to pick one of those, at least that's just my next point, is do a conversion. This is where it gets tricky. You have to do a conversion on it so that it's your own, but the conversion can't be so elaborate that it doesn't look like their model anymore.
Yeah. And you can't notice the conversion, right?
It can't be distracting.
Yeah. It can't be distracting from the model that they sell. It has to look like the model that they sell kind of just came off the page and did something slightly different, or is holding slightly different. But unless you're super familiar with the model, you wouldn't even say, oh, look at that conversion. You just say, oh, look at that amazing GW model.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then if you have intimate knowledge of it, you might be like, oh, that's a great conversion. But you have to put their models on a pedestal. The model has to be bigger than the conversion. And that's to get to another point. The model has to be bigger than everything. The model has to be bigger than, when I say bigger, I mean like more visual importance. The model has to be bigger than the base. The model has to be bigger than the conversion. The model has to be bigger than the freehand. The model has to be bigger than blank. So
Than
has to
you, right? Model has to be bigger than you.
Yeah.
As the artist.
Am
I wrong? I'm throwing that out
what
there.
What does that mean?
That their model in saying, wow, it needs to stand above, oh my gosh, who did that?
Are the things entered anonymously?
I
To the judges?
I think so. I mean, but they're going to know.
Yeah.
Right.
They're going to know.
Okay.
Like, yeah, one of these judges doesn't start looking and not know, like in the UK, they don't pick up a David Soper model and say,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
I wonder who painted this.
And that's a great example of a model you probably shouldn't paint unless you're going to crush David Soper's gut rot spume in the boat with the whole nautical theme. That would be a hard thing to do better than. That's a Slayer Sword winning piece. Everyone knows what it looks like. You're not going to beat it.
Oh, yeah, his big weird Rodicus conversion's going to be there this year, isn't it?
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Have you seen the pictures of that?
The tank.
That's going to be here. That's going.
It's gotta.
He's going to go to America?
He's never, as far as I know, he's never been to Adepticon. I think he stays in his little Sherwood Forest or whatever.
Okay.
So
So that'll come to Golden Demon, but it'll come to Games Day probably.
that would be my assumption.
Yeah. Okay. That's a great bullet point. What's the next one?
Right. So, okay. So, I mean, that's really like the big theme of, so you pick a new model, you choose to do a little clever conversion on it that is not in your face, but that really, if you want to do a great conversion, it should be something that actually literally improves the model as presented. I think the two examples I can think of off the top of my head are, we were looking at this the other, Maxime Pinaud, did I get the name right?
Maxime
Pinaud. Pinaud.
His troll.
Yes, his troll, which is like basically that he's redone the positioning on it, but it looks basically like the actual troll that they sell, just found a slightly better pose. Yeah. So it's not like, oh my God, like what is that conversion? It's more like, oh yeah, that model, I know that model. That's a great version of that model. Yeah. But he did an incredible amount of conversion work on it, but it's all kind of seamless and just makes a model kind of like silently better.
Did you notice the conversion I done on Drazar?
I didn't, but I'm also not familiar with that model.
Okay. He has a giant, flamboyant, garish necklace of gems.
Oh, that was would you sculpt that?
I had to cut it off because it's attached to his chest, and then had to refill the chest and then sand it to have like a natural curve to his pecs.
It was very clean.
Thank you.
I took me like weeks to realize that troll had anything done to it.
Yeah.
I was like, I had no idea. I knew, you could tell right away, and this kind of goes with it, that the model stands above all, is that I could tell right away the beautiful sculpting work he did on the base to feel like Games Workshop
gosh.
did that base.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the freaking dwarf rock heads and all that stuff. It's crazy.
Everything was like just leaning into the Games Workshop design, so the base felt like it was in the, came out of the box with that base on it.
Yeah. And that's the whole thing, is like he didn't make his own work louder than the Games Workshop part. It just looked like, it was just always there.
Mm-hmm. That was always part of the kit.
Yeah.
That's what I say. I really think like that's him not as an artist standing above the piece. He's leaning into what Games Workshop would have wanted that to look like.
Okay.
My other big example is something that's being worked on right now by, again, my new 28 millimeter hero, Richard Gray, is doing a Mephiston conversion, and he replaced the hand that's holding a I don't know that it's a pistol. There's a
some kind of gun,
plasma gun.
It's got a sword and a gun.
Some sort of sci-fi gun, and he replaced it with a hand that has it's from another figure that has like a choke pose, like a choke hold, like a force choke.
Yeah.
And so 100% super seamless in the sense that it looks, first of all, it's technically seamless in that it looks like it actually belongs to that model, which is like, that's just like the price for entry to not getting kicked out of that competition, is that it doesn't look like a bad conversion, but it also just looks like, maybe this is just like a version of the model they sell.
Right.
Yeah. It's not like...
He comes with that hand also in the kit, and you can pick what you want.
Yeah. Do you think that because there are so many entries, I don't know how many entries there are on an average Golden Demon. Did you know that? Does anyone know that?
I do not know.
I don't know.
I'm curious.
Ignorant Americans.
Yeah, I know, right? I've been to a Golden Demon event. I just can't remember. I mean, the cases were big, and there were lots of minis. I think it's more than Crystal Brush. I think it's at least twice as much.
Really?
Yeah. And so because there are so many entries, and because this particular year there'll be a lot of entries, that like the list of sins that you can commit, you just get removed entirely from any kind of further analysis is huge, right? Like, obviously, any mold line, you're fucked. It doesn't matter how good you paint it. You're done. You're done.
Yeah.
Any noticeable conversion, like not noticeable because, oh, it's different than the normal model. Like, I see milliput that you didn't sand. You're fucked. You're gone.
Yeah.
There are so many other things, right?
Yeah.
Any area where you notice paint shouldn't be where it's supposed to be, like you kind of were painting someone's vest and it kind of got a little bit onto the pants, you're done. You're screwed, right?
Yeah. I think that...
What else?
Well, I mean, I think that's one of the price, the door fee just to get in is just that your model is technically immaculate.
Yes.
And then I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of people just strategically paint single figure is because the smaller your model is, less area you have to mess up.
Yeah.
So, because I think you were talking about a diorama that could be great, but now you have to worry about every single area of that potentially having something that they don't like.
3 minis
technically
instead of 1.
So it's more to worry about.
It's a lot of minis.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just do dual. Because even talking about this conversation in my head, what I thought it was going to be was Drazar in the middle of a, call it 100 millimeter disc, with a guy crawling for his blade who has his leg chopped off, and another guy who's falling back slack with Drazar's blade like 20 mils from it with like a blood streak, like he just got his throat cut and he's like falling backward. So 2 people he's just killed or in the process of killing. And now that you said this, the base in my head feels way too big.
Yeah, it's like 60 mil you need on that.
Yeah, so I think it needs to be literally, as we said before, as small as it can be to allow for those elements to exist on it. So having the model who's leaning off of the base over into just dead space would be kind of a cool effect, and I could shrink that down real small. I think we'll see.
Ben was talking about having done a bunch of research. Do you remember the research that we did? Going into what was going to be the first Golden Demon? You remember who we talked to?
No. I did some of my own research a long time ago. I made a whole Reddit post about it.
We talked to one Daz, Darren Latham.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
I know we had a chat with him, but we talked about Golden Demon?
Yeah. We asked him a bunch of, like, I don't want to say insider questions. We're like, the kinds of things you're looking for.
Yeah.
Here's what you do to not put yourself behind the 8 ball before you even pick up the brush, kind of thing.
What did he say?
One of the things that he really talked about was base size.
Yeah.
And that's where we got the whole thing, the whole conversation around don't take the piss.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Because I have a piece that I've been working on, and I was really kind of drilling him on the base size because I'm like, okay, a single figure, it's not going to be a 32, but it's not going to be massive. Like, how restrictive are you? He's like, just don't take the piss.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. So there's no hard and fast rules, but there are like unwritten rules. Is the way I interpret it.
Yeah. So if you like painted a Mordheim figure and you like made the base a Mordheim city,
right?
Technically, you can do that, but like
you're taking the piss.
You're taking the piss. Yeah.
I mean,
that was kind of obvious stuff. And
yeah.
There was some more nuanced things that he shared, but But yeah, a lot of it was really similar to the stuff your research has proven. So we have now a secondary source that is confirming much of your independent research on this. It's gonna be peer reviewed here.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's actually a good bullet point that I didn't cover, which is that the way I would talk about it, I wouldn't say, I mean, piss whatever, but
I wouldn't say that.
Here's how I would describe it. I would say that think of your base of your model, think of your base as a liability.
Yeah.
Which is, you could have a great base, you're not going to really get any extra points for it, but if they find something they don't like about the base, they're going to mark you down. So I think that you're incentivized to do because you need some kind of base, but you're incentivized, I think, to do the absolute minimum amount with the base in order not to make it as small of a liability as possible. But I actually want to throw another twist into this, which is that, I mean, all of the rules and restrictions and considerations I've described to me mean that you're really incentivized to do a very clean, technical, but ultimately very, very boring model. So I've been thinking about it because my thinking about this has changed dramatically in the last 18 months. I think 18 months ago, I had the attitude of I'm just going to do something amazing. I'm going to do whatever I want. It's going to be awesome. And they can give me a golden demon or not. I don't really care. I'm just going to bring something awesome, which I still feel that way on partially. But then another piece of me is well, I want a fucking demon though.
Right.
So I'm actually I think that to me there's two lanes, and I think you have to know what lane you want to be in. Yeah. Which is that the two lanes are, I'm trying to win a golden demon, so I'm just going to I'm going to play by the rules, and I'm going to I'm going to know all these things that they're looking for. I'm going to restrict myself with a you may want to do this. You have a great base idea. It just doesn't make sense for this competition, really. So don't do it. So option one is stay in your lane and try to win a demon. Option two is just say, I don't care about winning the demon, but I want to bring the piece that gets everybody talking, gets the most buzz. It doesn't have a chance of winning a demon, but in 10 years when everybody was talking about that epic 2022 golden demon, they're going to be talking more about my piece that I brought than the stupid super clean thing that won the Slayer sword that nobody can remember.
Right.
I bet you have to pick your lane. You can't ride those two lanes. There's nothing that can, unless you're Pizarski or something with the tribute, which I think kind of does ride those two lanes. I don't think at least any of us sitting at this table have the skill to successfully pull off a piece that can ride the two lanes. I think it makes the most sense to just stick to your lane. So my plan is to actually have at least one for each of those lanes.
Yeah, I like that idea.
So, I'll bring a piece that doesn't have a chance of winning a Slayer sword, but is the coolest thing I can imagine.
Sure.
So
is Pizarski going to bring tribute
again?
Groundhog's Day. It's Crystal Rush versus Golden Demon. It's a different competition.
Well, he did it in a different Golden Demon though.
Oh, did he? You're right. Yeah,
he won the Slayer sword with that.
I don't know what the technical rule is. They're not going to give him two demons for the same thing, though.
No. I'm sorry. I forgot that he had actually entered it in a different GD event.
Yeah, I did it at Games Day that same year.
Okay. Never mind.
Where do you fall, Ben? You're talking about this, just so far out there with the one that won the Slayer sword, the giant corn tribute. I apologize. Was it Monstroids that did that?
Oh,
do you know which one I'm
the
talking
thing that's
about?
the army, essentially?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that there's okay.
Because that feels like an outlier to me. When I saw that won, I was like, it's amazing. I do not see that as what they would pick, typically.
It's 100% an outlier. It's an outlier as far as the person who won. It's an outlier as far as the type. Because if you look at when I'm calling the golden, I call it internally the modern era of Golden Demon, which is basically after all the international competitions collapsed and it just became, for a while, UK only, and I guess maybe in the past few, 2018, 2019, they had some additional European ones, but just basically let's call it 2014 forward, I'm calling the modern era. If you look at all the Slayer swords from that era, 50% of the Slayer swords in that era can be attributed to three people, which are David Soper, Richard Gray, and Andy Wardle, I think, are the three.
Seriously?
Or no, sorry, and Angelo DiCello. Oh. Wardle got one too, but those are the three that account for 50% of them. Wow. Those three guys. So that in terms of just if you go back to junior high, maybe you remember mean, median, and mode. Mm-hmm. That's the mode. They win for mode. And then if you sort it by mode, and you're also now looking at type of figure, sort by mode, single figure is the king of mode for that. So anything that's not one of those three guys and is not a single figure has some level of deviation from the standard. And yeah, 100%. So that particular one that you're talking about is an outlier as far as both the person and the type.
Yeah.
It's just, that and the tribute are like, I think, the two biggest outliers. Because if you're looking for one of those three guys painting a single figure, that's most of the Slayer swords.
And I wonder how many times an outlier has to win or place very, very high, where we start to see a shift where people are then moving their boat in that direction, and away from the single figure. I don't know. That's telling the future, and that is witchcraft, and we do not believe in condoning witchcraft on Trapped Under Plastic.
But other things we condone.
Yeah.
That are equally as bad. Okay.
So Ben, we're talking about this in the form of the American miniature painting competitions, and we haven't talked too much about, and I don't know if you had any points on this or anything that you want to discuss, about miniature painting, particularly under the lens of American miniature painters, because none of the names that you have given us thus far in the mode or recent winners are from North America. Partially because there hasn't been a Golden Demon here. And Vince gave a valiant effort in carrying the flag. But he didn't win a Slayer sword, so I'm sorry, Vince. That is
You
unacceptable.
failed America, Vince.
Yeah.
Vince, you're nothing.
Yeah. You left Captain America and you came back as Ant-Man.
The weak one. The weak version of Captain America. The thin boy.
The thin boy.
Fall on your sword, Vince. It's the only honorable thing to do.
Right.
Okay, so what was the question?
I don't remember. I was
American
interested
mini
in
painters.
Ben's thoughts in American painting as a whole, American painters as a whole, and how is that going to affect what miniature painting competitions in America is going to look like? Because as we know, even we're going back to Crystal Brush, we're kind of the minority of winners in our own soil.
Yeah, I think the existential question for us American painters, if you will, is can we collectively win a single Golden Demon in 2022?
A single one. I am willing
Like a gold or a copper?
a copper.
I don't know what the
Bronze.
Any?
Any. I am willing to bet absolutely yes.
Wow. How sure should we put?
Just a single bronze?
But like, sure. You say, okay, fine. Sure. But what percentage of, let's create a scenario. Let's say hypothetically, there's no everybody who wants to show up is showing up. There's no travel weirdness. Everybody's coming. It's just, I think I described it, we were talking about yesterday. It's hot girl summer. Everybody's out. Everybody's flaunting.
Yeah.
This is miniature painting hot girl summer. It's a scene. Everybody's there. Everybody's bringing their A game. Everybody's been working out for 2 years and wants to show the fuck off.
Yeah.
Everybody's there. What percentage of Golden Demons do you think are won by Americans?
So let's think about this now. There are how many categories? There's single fantasy, single sci-fi. There's duel, diorama,
Monster vehicle.
monster and vehicle. It's got to be both, or
I think they're I think they're together now. When I was looking at it going into 2020, whatever first one that got
so there's
canceled.
5.
There's
open.
Call it 7. Why don't we call it 7 categories?
Seven until you get into like weird ones that don't really count.
Like Lord of the Rings.
Like Lord of the Ring. I mean, maybe it counts for someone, but whatever.
Counts for Golden Demon.
Yeah, it's true.
We're not talking about that. That's not a real category.
Hey, if you want to win one as an American, start painting some
Yeah,
Gandalf.
that's actually the best
great.
approach.
That's great advice. Yeah,
That's actually really good advice.
yeah.
If you want to technically walk
Win.
away, yes, start now on your Lord of the Rings figure.
Yeah.
that does actually work.
Yeah.
So call it 21 to 24 Golden Demons and a Slayer sword.
Yeah.
Okay. What percent? I'm gonna say we're gonna see. It's either 2 or 3 bronzes, 1 silver, 1 gold, something like that.
So 5 total.
Yeah.
We don't have to call the. You think 5 of the. Let's say it's 24 just for standardizing our numbers. There's 24 total. You're saying there's 5 won by Americans.
Yeah. So approximately 1/5.
I'm going to take the under on that and say it's 4.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I was going to guess was 4.
Okay, sure, yeah.
So this like Price is Right, closest without going over?
No,
Okay.
just
sure.
closest.
Okay. So you said 5?
Yeah.
You said 4.
You can take the under with me.
Okay. I just want to look back at this and say that John was the optimist and America is going to win 7
Okay.
because there's no way that's going to happen. And I would love to be right, though. Would
Yeah.
love to be right. This is really depressing. God
Kind
damn
of,
it,
a
Ben.
little bit, yeah.
But this is the good time for us to have this conversation.
Yeah.
Because
Fire us up.
But I have a tip for you.
Okay.
The future's not set in stone.
That's it. We have the benefit of time.
Right.
Yeah.
We can forge our own
You
future.
forge your own destiny.
Yeah, oh, that's what it was, Destiny.
I can't tell if you're being Arnold or you're being the guy from The Room.
It's just
Tommy?
bad. It's bad Arnold.
It's bad Arnold. 'Cause
Bad Arnold.
it sounds kind of a lot like Tommy Wiseau from from The Room.
Yeah.
I did not.
I did not.
Yeah, it kind of does.
So go with that. That's a good.
All right.
If Tommy Wiseau and Arnold Schwarzenegger had a mad love baby,
Yeah.
that is the
Mad,
perfect
bad
accent.
English.
You can do the voiceover for that animated
Yeah.
short.
Yeah. All right, so if you're an American painter and you want to rep the red, white, and blue,
Yeah.
bring your A game.
Live free or die hard.
Yeah. Bring
Or
your A
if
game.
you're Australian and you're coming, we can teach you an American accent.
Yeah.
And
Australians.
because I like them.
So, yeah, me too.
Because Australians are always chill and super cool people.
You don't like British people?
I mean, I like some of them,
Yeah.
but like it feels like all the cool British people, they were like made them leave for Australia.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
No, there's a lot of awesome British people too. But I just think
I know. I'm fucking with
there's
you.
a lot of great Australian painters too. So
There are.
that we don't talk about them.
I wonder if we're going to see any Aussie painters at Golden Demon.
That would be a trip.
Yeah.
But that's just it. If the travel allows, people are going to be so stir crazy. I mean, stuck in their houses and not being together with other people. If they, they've been painting and this is their opportunity to go to the biggest thing.
We're going to be
They're going to be there.
some Trent Dennison.
Oh, dude, Deno, you better come. I want to drink with Deno.
Or
That's mostly why.
Or our other favorite Australian painter, who has painted several Space Marines, has a very stipply dotty texture. His name is
You talking about David Caldwell?
yes, David Caldwell.
He's Australian?
Yes,
I thought he was British.
Meg Maples lives in Australia, but is not Australian. No, David is Australian.
Yeah.
If Dave Colwell comes and brings his A game,
I think he'd crush.
we are going to adopt him
Yeah.
because he's going to get us some bling.
Yeah.
Mark my words.
Yeah, he can
That
be
man.
part of Team America.
Yeah. Okay, sure. We adopted David.
We adopt. David, the paperwork's in the mail. You just got to sign it.
Sign away your nationality.
Well, no, just the adoption records. That's all we need. You can be my stepson.
Okay.
I would love to see us not get embarrassed as Americans in 2022.
What does that mean, though? What does not getting embarrassed look like?
I don't know. Like
Winning half?
you said 4.
Yeah.
Like-
No, 5. I said 5. You said
Yeah,
4.
I said 4.
Yeah.
I mean, like I think not I mean, even 7 would be embarrassing. It's like on our turf.
Half.
We should win half
Okay.
at least.
Okay.
We should win half plus 1, whatever the actual number ends up being. Half plus 1 would be not embarrassing.
You inspired me to take this more seriously. Like, there's something at stake here to lose. Not just like winning my own individual award, but for representing the United States.
Okay, I'm going to say it. This is my call to action. You ready? And I'm going to
Okay.
say it in a very, I'm pointing at the camera for you listeners. I'm going to say it in a very trapped under plastic kind of way.
Okay.
I'm going to use all of your tropes. You ready?
Yes.
Oh, I'm so excited for what our tropes are.
Okay. Hey, goody peepees. Put down your tendies.
Put him down.
Put down your tendies. Clean off your greasy American fingers.
Yes.
And pick up your brushes and get painting, because we're going to get fucking embarrassed unless you do something about it. I can't do it alone. Scott, John can't do it alone. We need you. We need you. I'm pointing at the camera for you listeners. Like the poster with the Uncle Sam.
Yes.
We need you to not be embarrassed.
Okay.
That's my call to action.
That was beautiful.
That's good. That's good. I feel like all across the nation at this very moment, there are people that are like slowly putting down their tendies in
Mid-bite.
unison.
Yeah.
There's like an echo of a earthquake that shudders across our nation as all the tendies go
Yeah. We're not gonna live in silence. And then everyone just gets up and starts singing a song, and then we do a dance.
Right. It's just like the Olympics. I mean, it's not just like the Olympics. It's a lot. There's a lot more BO, but it's like the Olympics.
Are you sure? More BO than the Olympics?
Like when we had the Salt Lake City Olympics, Winter Olympics here, there was more pressure than when it was like the Greece Olympics or the Sochi Olympics or whatever for our country to do better. It's on our home soil. You know, we are representing for the world. We are being welcoming. Like we're not angry. I'm happy that people from all over the country would come to this weird little suburb in Illinois.
I'm a little angry. I'm a little angry.
To do this weird niche nerdy thing and create amazing art. I'm amazed that that's a real thing.
Yeah,
and
the Renaissance Schaumburg.
Yeah, the Schaumburg. I'm glad that that's a thing. However, while they're here, we need to make them feel a little bit like, I don't know if I'm going to do well.
Yeah.
I'm surrounded by all these big, muscly Americans.
Yeah.
And by muscles, I mean awesome miniatures.
Yeah.
Not actual muscles.
Right.
There's a couple that have actual muscles.
Yes. Andy Wardle's pretty yoked. He's not American, though.
I could take him.
Sam's pretty yoked.
Land lifts.
Oh, yeah.
That guy lifts.
You lift, bro.
Okay.
So you also should lift before.
Yeah, because we want to
Yeah.
be physically intimidating, too.
Yeah.
And we can be physically intimidating in numbers. If the goody peepees are good for one thing,
You got conceal and carry? Bring that fucking gun.
let's not go that far.
Let's show what America's all about.
Right. America is about a crowd that you're nervous to be around. And we can be that, goody peepees, right?
Yeah, we can be a mob.
Yeah. Let's get that tension up all the way. Get that tension at 11.
Right. So the goody peepee nation will stand around the judges as they're deciding on who will get first, second, and third.
Just breathing down there.
Just a little bit of a push in the right direction in their decision making. That's all we're here for.
We just created the mob, essentially. Okay. Is there anything else to discuss about the impending Golden Demon event, the American competitive scene, the competitive scene at large? Anything else anyone wants to say?
No, I think we covered how to not mess it up,
Yeah.
Right.
how to stay in your lane,
Yeah.
and we did the call to action. Like, if the revolution didn't start right here, it's just not going to happen.
Okay. I agree.
This is the tipping point, right? You should all watch Les Mis tonight after you're done watching Training Day.
Yeah, I don't know what training did.
This is our Viva la Revolution, right?
Yeah.
But don't watch the end of the movie because the revolution fails. But like they always do in France.
Right.
But this is our tipping point. This is the point where we can put our flag in the ground and say, notice us. We're not here to like, well, we want to steamroll and dunk on every other country. We want to say, well, we want respect.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that what this is all about in one word? Is this about respect?
I think it's about respect, and I think it's also just about like, I think that every American has it in them. Every American miniature painter has it in them to win a Golden Demon. I think that's the message.
If you want to do that.
If you want to.
Yeah. We're not saying if that's not you.
Yeah.
We got all sorts of goody peepees out there. But if you're like Inkling, join us. Join us. You are welcomed.
I hate to be that person, but I feel like I don't really care that much.
You just said he made you care like 5 minutes ago.
I know. Okay, but
when he gets on his plane to California, you're going to be like, oh, I don't fucking care anymore.
Well, hear me out. Let me answer me this question, Ben.
Yeah.
You have all these lovely rules that are a lot of great advice if one is looking to be successful at Golden Demon. Do you think people that win actually think about these things?
Oh.
Or do you think they just fucking, that's what they paint all the time and they just roll in and own? They're not really thinking about it.
They are thinking very, very deeply about how to win.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. See, to me, it's like, what this looks like, to make a Dota analogy.
Oh, Lordy.
People who are good at Dota are just good at Dota naturally. I guess they don't have to think much about it. And then you have people who are like me, who are shit, and are like analyzing the shit out of it and like, taking notes and trying to figure out what's going on inside the mind of someone who's dominating. And it's like, they don't think about it. They just do it. Right. So this feels like a situation where we're trying to like overanalyze something. And really what we just need to do is be better. And obviously it's not black and white. That could be partially true and partially false. What do you think about that?
Okay, here's what I would say. I think that I'm not saying everybody's thinking about it. We're talking about who wins the mode race, right?
Right.
In terms of mean, median, mode. All the mode guys, that those three guys are 100% thinking about it.
Okay.
I don't think your outlier guys are necessarily thinking about it.
Okay.
But I also think those outlier guys,
Your Powells and
yeah,
Monstroids. Yeah.
yeah. I think those guys are very, very rare, and I think that the path for most people to winning a golden demon is going to be to, again, stay in your lane, play by the rules, and just do something really good within the context of the rules, and not try to. And I'm saying this, it sounds like I'm not saying that amazing piece that you are thinking of for the golden demon, like that's super creative, and that I just like kind of broke your heart with all these things that I'm saying matter. I'm not saying don't do that piece. I'm saying do that piece, but then also do something that will actually win so that we don't get embarrassed.
Okay. Just do twice as much as you want to do.
I'm not saying you should start painting like with all these restrictions because that's the only thing that you can do to win a golden demon. You should absolutely paint what inspires you, but also just please win some golden demons.
Please.
So you can do both. You can do.
Yeah. I think that's a great point. And in your selection process of deciding what you want to paint is you still need to start with what excites you most. And that may be three things. And then you kind of look at the brackets that we've outlined here. What of those 3 or 5 or whatever most excite me and best line up with these slots to go down the old Plinko board. Ding, 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 and get you the golden demon that's at the bottom in the center.
Okay.
Yeah. I think some people definitely are going to have a Venn diagram overlap of something that they are both like, that is their ultimate idea for a project, and something that could win a demon. Some people exist in that sweet spot in the Venn diagram. Like I don't exist in that sweet spot.
I feel like I want to exist there with the Drazar thing that I'm doing.
Yeah. That does
exist
fall
there.
in.
Okay.
Like I'll tell you my super cool dream project that I've actually already partially completed that does not exist in that Venn diagram was I said I want to do the coolest Games Workshop diorama I can think of, which is the Emperor in the 40K universe, the Emperor on his throne in there's a John Blanche art of like all these like wires and shit going into him.
Yeah.
I made a diorama of that, which is really fucking cool.
Yeah.
I think
old and crusty Emperor, like with skeleton.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
And it's got like this huge base with all these like wires and stuff, and it's like basically 100% original sculpt, other than like random bits from their kits, like little purity seals.
Yes.
Purity seal. I got some of those from the kits, and like little bits like that from the kits, but it's like, let's say 90% original sculpt.
Wow.
And so that is like my super cool like aspirational diorama that's never going to win a golden demon because it doesn't put one of their models on display. It violates like the main rule that I just said before.
Yeah, but it also is insane fan service.
Yeah.
Like John Blanche is almost like a god in like GW's world, and to recreate that in miniature form is like such an insane amount of fan service that I think it would make waves.
Yeah.
But that's my point. It'll make waves in the sense that people will talk about it. It might be if I do a really good job on it, it might be in 10 years the main thing that people remember. I'm just saying it's not going to win a golden demon.
Oh, it will. It will win a golden demon. It won't win a Slayer sword.
No, it won't win a golden demon.
It will.
It won't.
Do it.
Paint it
Okay.
better.
Do it. You won't.
Ben, paint it better.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. It's not going to win a golden demon. I understand enough about the competition to understand that it has zero. It's not like 0.1, not 0.01, but a hard 0.0 chance of winning a golden demon. But I'm going to finish it. I'm going to bring it because it's really fucking cool. But then I'm also going to actually try to win a golden demon with a totally different piece.
So a real quick question on this is, so there's rules layouts of what you can enter in the competition. Would this qualify because it's not using majority? They have some wording in there.
Yeah.
Used to be scratch build categories.
Well, that's probably open.
So
It'd probably fall under
it
open.
definitely 100% qualifies for open. No question about it.
Okay.
It may qualify for diorama. It doesn't matter though, because it's not going to win either category. I don't really care what category. It definitely qualifies for a minimum of one category. I don't care what category it goes in because it's not going to win. But I am going to bring it if I can finish it.
Okay.
It's like, did you use like armor bits from different ones of their like Space Marine kits,
Like
or
Custodes.
Custodes kits, and that kind of stuff to like for shoulder pads or torsos
No, I
or
just
anything?
totally scratch built.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hold on. Is this done?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't painted it. I did the sculpt. I printed it. I should actually reprint it because I printed it on my Photon, which is now at the time I printed it was a newer printer and it's now an older printer. I should probably reprint it in my higher resolution printer. So that's the thing. I could dig into it and resculpt some areas, probably make them better. But I have a version of it that's printed, that's ready to paint.
Okay. I want to see it.
It's on. Here's a little plug for myself. I have pictures, whip pictures on my Instagram.
Oh,
Yeah,
I follow your blog, but do I not follow you on Instagram?
you should get on my Instagram, bro.
What is it? Is it metal_AF?
I think it's metal.af.miniatures. Let me double check to see if I know what my own Instagram is. Probably not.
Metal. I got it. You're right.
Okay.
Oh, I follow you. What the fuck? I don't see it.
Metal.
Let's see, scroll down. Because I stopped working on it a while ago because I was super bummed. Oh, here's a picture from, I posted a picture, a whip picture, 9th of September, 2020. It's a 3D picture.
Oh, this?
Yeah. It got better after that. That was like my whip, though.
Honestly, this looks good.
Is this part of the
Yeah, that's his wires. That's
freaking crazy.
This is going to suck for audio listeners. We're looking at just pictures on my Instagram.
There's pictures of wires all coming together towards the center of a circle.
They'll be linked in the show notes as well if you want to check it out. And so is obviously Ben's Instagram.
Check out those show notes, guys.
I know, dude. The show notes.
You want to click so hard right now.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah, I think it's a cool piece.
I do too.
But yeah, there's no original other than like a purity symbol, which isn't, you're not gonna have any original GW stuff in there. They can't sell a model with this. This isn't gonna make them money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Let's put a stamp in this. I don't know. Put a stamp on this. Put a
bow on it.
put a bow on it.
End it.
What?
Let's stomp this right in the face.
Okay.
Let's curb stomp this.
Well, you just went all out there.
Yeah.
Disclaimer on this show.
Let's
Right.
murder this topic. Yeah.
Let's talk about news.
Thank you.
I'm just helping you out here, brother.
Okay.
Talk about this Warhammer streaming service thing. 'Cause I thought this was a meme.
Fuck. It is not a meme. Okay. There's a thing called Warhammer Plus, which is a streaming service that is going to have a lot of animated content about 40K and Age of Sigmar on it. So a long time ago, they mentioned that they were going to start investing more in studios that work on these really cool animated shorts, like the biggest one I can think of is the Space Marine one, the 5-parter. Mm-hmm. And, okay, I don't understand how they're going to have enough content to legitimize an entire channel or like a platform for this thing.
With a monthly charge, assuming.
Yeah, it's a monthly charge.
Or just like they'll have stuff, but it's so much of it's going to be garbage. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Quality wise, I'm not talking about content. I'm just
11 titles are announced so far. The standouts being Astartes 2, Altar of Wrath, Interrogator, and Black Talon. I have no idea what any of those are, other than the first one.
So I think one of the big things to glean from this means that they're putting Astartes 2 behind a paywall.
Yes.
Which that's kind of the antithesis of what the whole purpose of Astartes was.
Yeah.
Was free fan made original art.
I
Which
don't
is
know.
a bummer, but they're all about monetizing. So
Are you paying for it?
God, no.
Or are you paying for it?
Here's my hot take. You ready?
Yeah.
I hadn't heard of this, but I think that's a huge mistake for them to create that content and put it behind a paywall, because that's the kind of content that should be driving the thing that if they're going to continue to make money, the thing that they're going to have to sell is miniatures. And that's the kind of thing that could drive people to buy more miniatures.
That aren't painters in the first place.
Yeah, anybody. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think you have like a bunch of different threads of people, like who buys GW miniatures. You have gamers, you have painters, and sometimes these can overlap. You have gamers, you have painters, and then apparently there's people who are into lore now who read like the books and stuff.
I guess.
I guess
It's a big
the
thing.
Black Library.
Vince opened my eyes to was a crazy rabbit hole to go down, and I'm sure most of our goody peepees understand this. There are YouTube channels where they just talk about the lore.
Yeah, dude.
And get like 250,000 views in a month on their videos. I'm like, what? Are you? So basically, you're like TLDR. Like, you didn't have to read any of these books. I'll do it for you, and I'll tell you the story.
Yes.
That's a thing. And then they go one step. They jump the shark, and they like, what if this and this and this guy did this in the 40K universe? And people are like, I want to watch this. You're just making shit up.
I mean, what if it's... I mean, that's kind of what it's all is, right? We're all making shit up.
I know, but it's like not even canon. So it's like, at what point does your brain go like, did that actually happen, or is it just like Joe Schmo 27 on YouTube put a video about it, and they're just like a flat picture and a dude talking, and they switch the picture every 7 minutes. I'm like, oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Here's my hot take that's going to offend people. I know just enough information about this to have a really obnoxious hot take, which is because I actually have watched those videos. Because actually, part of my golden demon process is when I'm painting a model, I want to watch those videos to make sure I don't mess up any lore stuff.
Yeah.
And I just know just enough to have a hot opinion that all of that Warhammer lore is just a complete and total mess.
It is. Yeah. It's such a mess. I know that for a fact in the vampire world. It is. There is no one who is looking at it from a high level directing the flow. It's like everyone's making like snap decisions at the moment that they're in without thinking about the future. That's what it feels like, because the vampire lore is so fucked. It's so messed up.
Yeah, because the best way to get into a fictional universe is to understand like the macro. Like a great example would be Star Wars. You watch Star Wars for 30 minutes, you've got the macro. There's like the Empire, the bad guys, you get the rebels, the good guys. Top, like, immediately just you have a very clean concept. And then, as you go deeper into like the Empire, you can like, learn about like the lore, like, the Sith and, Dark Jedi and all that. But it's all you go big picture down to like granular, and it naturalistically draws you into that world. Whereas I feel like when I'm watching those Warhammer videos, I get no big picture. All I get is like little granular details, and I can't make any like macro sense of it.
Yeah, that's the struggle I've had since the beginning of trying to figure out this game. What it all meant is I can't put any individual puzzle piece into the place. I don't know if it's an edge piece or it's a centerpiece. I don't know what the picture is. All a giant blur. None of it makes any sense because I can't tie it to the greater overall structure. Even generally, you don't need to be able to tell me all the fine details. Just let me know where it lives. And then all those little individual puzzle pieces, they don't actually connect to each other very much. They're like this piece is actually technically on the timeline is same as this one, but they don't cross-pollinate at all. Now, they could be happening at the exact same time in the exact same universe, and you would never know that they existed at the same time. It's just like, wait, shouldn't things be interesting threads that weave together? And that's when you have 700 authors doing things. Do you expect all of them to read everybody's other book and notice all the details and all that? They just are like, screw it. They're in a culture of writing for this stuff that's not a factor. So they just, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, we could kind of shit on Warhammer lore for a long time. We don't need to.
That could be another podcast.
I feel like we've definitely done it.
We do it most podcasts, really, I think.
Yeah.
But,
okay, aside from Warhammer lore, we have some other exciting news coming from the minds of Vince Venturella and Adam
Rain in Hell.
Loper.
Adam Loper, a.k.a. Uncle Adam.
A.k.a. Tabletop Minions.
Tabletop Minions. And
made a game.
They made a game called Rain in Hell Demonic Skirmish Combat. Yes. So this is a miniatures agnostic tabletop game. You guys know what miniatures agnostic means?
No, John. Tell me what it means.
What does it mean, John?
It means you can use whatever GD miniatures you want. Whatever you own, whatever you want to paint, whatever you want to print, and you can play them in this game.
You use your Legos. You can use your Legos.
Yeah, you could. That's a great idea. I'm gonna make the Lego warband, and I'm gonna paint my Lego minifigs. That's actually what they're called. Legos are called minifigs.
I've always wanted to paint a Lego, but like anatomically correct color, and like I think it would look really creepy.
You know, like paint abs on them.
Yeah.
Oh god.
And like cheeks and like a chin and like a nose. Just would be weird. Anyways, Rain in Hell.
Right. It's not about Legos. It is about the story. The basic story is that hell is in utter chaos, even more than usual.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's pretty normal.
All form of structure in hell has crumbled. All form of society in hell has crumbled, and hell is on the brink of ceasing to exist. And so these different structures or cults in hell of demons are all vying for power. And so you run one of these cults. I don't know if cult is the right word. I'm sorry, Vince and Adam, if that's not the right terminology you used. That they all have their own purpose. The vision that they see hell being, that is the ideal version. And all of their visions are drastically different than each other. So you build your warband. You can take through a pretty in-depth and amazing-looking campaign system, or you can play it as a one-off game. So it's a skirmish game. When I played it, and I have played this game, it was like 30 minutes to play a game. It was like high pace, fast action, murdering, crazy abilities going off. The actual structure of the game, the rule system, is this nice balance of elegant yet strategy, where you can pick it up. Vince taught me the rules, and we were playing in 5 minutes. And once we started playing, I'm like, oh, there's more depth here. Oh, I could be doing this. Oh, I can combo this ability with this ability. And it was a ton of fun. So just came out. We'll have a link in the video description to check out Rain in Hell, and you can get it. I believe it's $10 for the PDF version of the rules, $15 for the actual physical copy plus a PDF.
A steal.
It is a steal of a deal. And they said they wanted this accessible to whoever wants to play it. So it's
right. And I mean, honestly, a game made by these two individuals, such enthusiasts about the hobby of miniature painting, like,
and how many games they have played over the years.
I know, like I haven't played it. I wasn't playing it because I did not finish painting my miniature in time. So I had to keep painting while they were playing this fun game at Vince's house. But I just gotta believe that from the minds of those two individuals with that much experience and that much love and enthusiasm, that this product can't be anything short of amazing.
Yeah,
like a very tight and wonderful rule set.
I'm not gonna lie. When we were Sam, Vince, and I, when you were slaving away at your painting, we were all done.
Yeah.
We were like, "What do you want to play?" Vince is like, "What do you want to play? You want to play another game in Sigmar? You want to play another Rain in Hell?" I'm like, "I want to play Rain in Hell again." I wanted to play that more. It was fun. And then we played a Devil's Three-Way. It's not actually called Devil's Three-Way in the book, but that's what I told Vince he needs to call it when it's a 1v1v1 game, because it makes sense, right? I mean,
yeah. I will say that I wish he had produced miniatures for this. I know it's a miniature agnostic game. That doesn't mean you can't Frostgrave. Not Frostgrave, sorry. It doesn't mean you can't... Fuck. What's the other miniature agnostic game that works with the D20? Frost...
I think it is Frostgrave, isn't it?
Frostgrave is the one that they
I'm
eventually...
thinking of Frosthaven and Gloomhaven.
Yeah, Frostgrave is the one that started off as miniature agnostic. They didn't make their own miniatures. Eventually, they did come out with their own line because the game was doing so well.
That's such a fun part of miniature games is the different creativities that come in from the people who make the games. So I would love to see what Vince thinks an Earthbound demon or whatever looks like in this world. Like, I want to see that. But you know, I guess this is a good starting place. Then you can make miles afterwards. Yeah, if you wanted to.
So you guys actually, I guess, played this game.
I didn't. He did.
You did.
Okay.
I just found out about this 5 minutes ago, so I can give you a totally different perspective.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here's my perspective. First of all, this book's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Second of all, just flipping through it, you can 100% tell, like, this is made by fucking nerd. Like, yes. Like, this is...
Why?
Well, how can I tell?
Yeah.
You can just see the love on the pages, dude. Okay. Like, you can just see the love for, like, the little system that he made.
Yeah. I want to know where he got the art. Like, how did he license all the art to go on the book? Did he have all these things drawn up?
I looked at it's in like the front cover. It references that.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So yeah, you also see my name in there in the front cover as well.
Oh, you playtester?
Yeah, I'm a playtester, bitch.
Very nice.
You can just, I guess, to me, I can tell that this was made by someone who has like a love for games and was just really wanted to create this like kind of open rule set. Like I think, again, this is my 5 minute hot take. Having not played, I can tell that this fills a void of. It's almost like, okay, oh my god, what is that? What is the language? What is the language that the international language? Esperanto. I think that this is like the Esperanto of gaming. Esperanto, except if Esperanto was successful, it wasn't. Do you know what Esperanto is? Am I just taught? Okay.
Nope.
Okay. Oh god. How would I even start? Esperanto, I think roughly 100 or 150 years ago, we had a problem of not really having... French was kind of like the international language, but there was like everybody wanted their language to be the international language.
Right.
So a non-organically developed international language called Esperanto was developed so that people would all have Esperanto as their second language. It's a real like utopia kind of concept.
Sure.
So it didn't really get off the ground. There are thousands of people that speak Esperanto today, but it didn't really get off the ground. But I'm pitching Rain in Hell as Esperanto, the Esperanto of miniature gaming, in the sense that this could be a game that I guess is pretty easy to pick up, a skirmish game that everybody knows how to play, and everybody will be able to play because it doesn't matter what type of miniatures, what language you're naturally bringing to the table. Everybody can meet in Esperanto, in Rain and Hell, and like you could see a gamer, and you don't have to be like, hey man, what game should we play? Like, do you play 40K? Do you play like Frost, Pain, Gloom, whatever? And it's like, no, everybody knows how to play Rain and Hell. Everybody knows how to play because it's so easy and it's so fun. This is the Esperanto, if Esperanto is successful, of miniature gaming. Is that convoluted?
No.
No,
It's a bold claim, though, because I think you have to unseat, like, 40K. I think that's what 40K is.
Yeah. But the level of commitment to get into this is what stops games like Age of Sigmar and 40K.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's not only the money, but then the sheer number of figures. So the average warband in here is about 7 models.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm saying that specifically because this is a very uninformed opinion. This is 5 minutes of information being condensed down into a huge, bold claim. But I can tell from how small and tight the book is, and I can tell from how you said, it took me 5 minutes to pick up, and I can tell from how much of a freaking nerd Vince is, that this is just a game that people could just easily pick up and play with the miniatures that they have, and that everybody could theoretically know how to play.
Yeah, hate figures could work for this.
It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
And it's a system that if you've played any other kind of miniature war game, you'll immediately recognize how they have cherry-picked the things that they like best about different systems. Yeah, those are
There's some creature caster
models. I think there are other ones in there too.
So we're going to be at Adepticon 2022. And,
fuck yeah.
And Vince is going to stomp up to me angrily and fucking punch me in the face and be like, I can't believe you fucking called my game the Esperanto.
I thought you were going to say we were going to play it.
Oh no, we're 100% going to play it.
Yeah.
Maybe after he punches me in the face for calling his game Esperanto as a compliment, but maybe he didn't take it that way. After he punches me in the face and like hands me his apron and says, wipe yourself up. Maybe after that we can sit down and play the game.
Okay.
But
So that's it. That is our hot take of the news. A brand new game. As of the recording of this video, this game was just launched today. By the time you are watching it, it'll been out for a little while, but it will be the new hotness. So if you want to learn more about it, I believe it's just rainandhell.com, but we'll put the link to the website that talks through it. Also, Uncle Adam has at least one, probably at this point more than one, videos of how to play. So you can actually see if it is something that interests you.
You're going to make a video about it at some point. I'm going to make a video about it at some point. If I know me, I'll probably get it done in about a year from now. That's just how I roll. But yeah, this book is awesome. This game is awesome. These people are awesome. It's got to be good.
Right.
I don't make videos, but if I did, I'd make a video about it too.
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah. Got some stickers on here from them. They sent me some Snarling Badger Studio stickers in the Rain and Hell one.
Yes, that's the name of their new company.
I have a problem with that. Yeah,
Snarling Badger.
I don't like that name.
Snarling Badgers.
You guys should change it.
I like Snarling Badgers.
Something cool like. This is hard on the spot.
Wicked Pixies.
Yes. Wicked Pixies.
Yeah, that's a pretty badass name.
No, it's not.
Somebody
Okay.
write that down.
Third item on the news list for today is just a single word, and that single word is Dominion.
Dominion. Have you guys heard about Dominion?
Yes, sir.
With a card game?
Nope.
No. Dominion.
Good card game though.
It's a fucking great card game.
It is a good card game.
But we're
It's
talking
way
about
better.
different-
It's
we're
probably
talking-
way better than this. Dominion was announced to be Age of Sigmar 3.0's big box.
Yes.
It's the name of their box. Like Indomitus was for 40K. This is their big box.
Oh, is this limited edition?
I don't know. I didn't even look into that yet. What is this? How does this apply to us? One, tomorrow, this is already going to be in the past for you guys. Tomorrow they're doing like a big reveal thing on Warhammer's site where they're going to go through the box. I think open the box and
Nice.
show all the models and stuff. Because we still don't know with 100% certainty who the Sigmarines are fighting in this.
Obviously, it's going to be Carnothi, the new Wood Elf released race in Vampires, right?
Yeah. No, it's some form of destruction, orcs, goblins, or some form.
Lame.
Yeah.
I don't care. I just want to see sweet models.
Yes. And like the angel, why can I Stormcast Eternals? The angel Stormcast Eternals that you've seen so far are pretty awesome.
Yeah. The one with the wings is cool. The thin boy,
I love that.
they look fucking dumb.
They
think
look awesome.
Okay, I disagree very hard.
The stupid chunky Stormcast Eternals I do not like at all.
They kind of look like that. Because like
They look
it's
like
like they have the same posture as a chunky Stormcast Eternal, but minus all the chunk. Instead of pulling in the arms and pulling in the legs, it's like it's like I really hate it. But that angel model is
for you
sick.
listeners. Scott made a very stiff pose.
A very stiff
Very
Skeletor
stiff.
pose.
I'm trying
Arms
to help our
bowed out.
listeners. I never watched this video, so like
You are helping a lot with that, and I've noticing throughout this time that
Yeah.
there's so much that we don't explain
Yeah.
from our visuals.
I listen to double speed
Okay, yeah.
and I don't watch it.
Okay. Because
So-
you can't watch it because you're operating. You need to. Yeah.
Audio description.
Have you seen these Stormcast Eternal models, Ben?
So I think I may. I wasn't. I think that I've seen them, but I wasn't tracking that. The reason I saw them was because they're part of this new Age of Sigmar. I'm going to go to this Instagram that I follow. That's like this guy who only posts new models.
Just all he does is post the pictures. And
love it.
That's actually a kind of thing I need on my feed. Although Warhammer Community just typically.
That's
takes
what
a
I'm
lot.
on right now. I'm trying to find it for Ben so Ben can tell me that I am right and that John is wrong.
I'm not talking about the pose. I'm talking about the actual.
Nope, you're wrong.
I'm talking about the actual makeup of their body type. They look like badass gladiators from ancient Greece.
Booty.
They don't look
Maybe.
like big, chunky people that are 6'1" and 400 pounds. Like they're just brick shit house. Like they're not. They're much more anatomically correct to a real human, and I like that.
Maybe there is no way I'm gonna find this. They post like daily on this website.
We'll find it later. The reason why I even brought this up was because we had Ben on today, and I knew we were going to get into, or I thought we were going to get into some talk about competitive miniature painting and miniature choices, which we did. Thank you, Ben, for reading my mind on that. And this is going to be a big hotness, just like Indomitus was. When Indomitus hit, the amount of models that people were painting and showing on Instagram or making videos of, whatever, was like at an all-time high. That's going to happen again here.
Yeah.
However, we're going to be close enough after the launch of this in the summer to Golden Demon. And do we look through the lens of competitive nature of these models in that respect? I'm kind of excited from that thematic viewpoint of it. So,
I mean, I think anything that's like new is
Right.
pretty fair game.
right.
But I also think that like definitely, I mean, GW makes enough miniatures. Oh, I could just end the sentence there. But GW makes enough miniatures that I mean, there's whole broad categories of miniatures that they make that I would never paint.
Yeah.
Like, so like all that Stormcast shit, I'm not into it.
But you're
Like-
really good at painting metallics with light sources, so they're all metal armor. You could probably paint one amazing.
I am
Yeah, you painted Slambo, which is basically Stormcast Eternal.
No, dude. Slambo's fucking metal. Like that's my
Okay.
it needs to be metal. Stormcast Eternals are not metal. They're like, you know, they're
You
good.
could paint them as such, though. You should put a different head on.
Yeah,
there.
but then they wouldn't win a Golden Demon because they're not. But
True.
with the
They're
lore,
not a-
you got to stick with the lore. The lore is I don't understand the lore, but I know the lore is that they're, you know, very precious good boys.
Yeah, they're like souls resurrected from old fancy boy souls, and that's it. And then one day they decided, oh no, we're going to have them have helmets off, and they're actually real people in there. I never understood that, but okay.
The narrative, of them being reconstructed souls of dead people and them getting crazier and crazier the more they get reconstructed is so fucking cool.
Right.
There's nothing with it, it seems like.
Yeah. Well, then they're like, but that immediately flies out the window when you take their helmets off and they're just a human.
Yeah.
Well, I have the picture up now. I guess my first takeaway is those are some very stiff poses.
Thank you.
Yes.
Like those are some like 1990s poses.
Right, where it's a single mole cast that can only go on one axis, so it can't have any.
Yeah, I mean they're basically statues. I mean, again, that aesthetic already doesn't appeal to me. Like my aesthetic is like Curse City. I think Curse City is the best models I've ever seen, and or not in the best collection of models I've ever seen. That's like my aesthetic. I would never paint that just based off the aesthetic. But even if you told me you lock me in you trap me under plastic, if you will, and said, oh, you have to paint something, those would not be at the top of my list just because the poses are just so flat and stiff. So even within the realm of something I didn't want to paint, I wouldn't want to paint those.
I'm guessing they wanted to make them still feel like they had weight and they were powerful soldiers, and you don't have a powerful soldier doing like mid flippy thing or whatever. You make them like stoic or whatever, but
But but you can show. I think you can show power through posts. Like if you look at Frank Frazetta's artwork. Look at those thick boys swinging axes and stuff. They're very strong.
There's a lot of weight to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they have the ability now with the technology they have for the models they make to have them have that. I wonder if they're like, well, we want these guys to all be in a little line, and so if they're the models themselves won't like clink into each other or something. But anyway, that's going to be a big hotness here coming up, and we'll probably see them. The one thing that I think though that is the detriment of something like this, if you're looking to enter in a painting competition with them, is we're going to be inundated across the internet with amazing paint jobs of stuff in this box before we get to the big competition. And so to a point that Ben talked about earlier,
Interesting.
are we already going to see 3 awesome jobs of this? Does that take into account?
You almost want the product to almost like fly under the radar a little bit.
Right. You want to find...
Curse City, bro.
Yeah, Curse City.
That flew under the radar because it got dropped immediately.
True. And there's some good paint jobs out there, but I don't know if I've seen it. I mean, Richard Gray's done some great work.
Are you saying mine aren't cool, bro?
Yeah, you could do that as a unit, dude. That would be awesome. You got those whole done.
You're so nice. Okay.
If you painted them all to the level of the 2 that you have done,
And they need a lot more work, I think.
I think they would still stand out.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
You'd have a shot. Or if it's like you're close to getting that done, just have it to bring, and it's not like you're
Sure,
ace
yeah.
in the hole.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be ashamed of sharing that.
Yeah, no.
But like that Angel model comes out at the same time that Angel model comes out, like either this box or some other units or some other heroes come out, everyone's going to be painting the Angel. So, who is the bridesmaid, right? That's what you want to find. That fell under the radar a little bit.
Okay.
And then, you got to make her into the rom-com from the 90s where she takes her glasses off and her paint smock and suddenly she's gorgeous. That's what you're doing.
This
Yeah.
Angel has big problems.
Also a little thick and stiff.
Well, for free listeners, Scott just handed me a iPhone picture of this Angel. Is anybody talking about the fact that she's not level? Like,
I haven't seen it in a while.
Okay, I don't know if it's a problem with a pose or a problem with a base, but if you follow the horrors, there's something not level about it. It might be the picture. It might just be the picture. I don't think so, though. I think that there's a fundamental misalignment here, which is very rare for GW. But to me, the horizontals of the base look like they're listing like 5 degrees.
She's slightly tilted off of
If you were to draw,
You're right.
If you were to draw a straight line through the horizontals at the base and then draw a straight line from the top of her head through like her center of gravity, those don't meet at 90 degrees, which they should.
The impression I get though is that the staircase is like dilapidated and like kind of messed up, and that's where that angle's coming from.
It's not a good look.
Okay.
I think a good conversion would be to just like unwonk that.
Yeah. It would
probably would.
Yeah.
People wouldn't even necessarily notice it right away. It would just be more aesthetically pleasing when you first saw it.
I didn't notice it right away. I just immediately felt like, what is so wrong with this? And then I started looking at all the angles. And it's like, oh, that's just like, it's just misaligned. It doesn't feel right to me.
This is a model that I think looks cool, but I will never paint.
It is pretty stiff. Like just once you go past, yeah, it's a stiff pose. It is like a stiff 1990s pose. I think something like that is a great conversion opportunity. You know what I mean? That's I think part of this goal we were to like do with the little circle back here is like don't necessarily take things at face value because you could do a great conversion with that and like kind of unwonk it and maybe somehow make it more dynamic.
Yeah.
So
adjust the arms and the legs a little bit.
Yeah.
Look a little bit more angelic too. She feels very like stuck to the ground, and an angel should feel like their center of gravity is lifting them. Mm-hmm. Get on that, Scott.
We just designed a Slayer sword right here.
Yeah, we did it.
It started here.
Well, somebody needs to paint it though.
Yeah.
And do all the conversion work.
Not
and
me.
then
easy.
give us all the credit.
That's the easy part. We just told them how to do it.
Yeah,
Just made,
right? Just do
made
it.
them the blueprint.
Yeah. That's John's favorite thing is to be the ideas guy.
Never do anything. All right, we are here to the end of the podcast. We're back from the after party, and we can't see straight. Nope.
You've been topped, motherfucker.
Oh, man. Scott, what do we do at the end of the podcast?
We shill hard.
Okay.
Ben, can you shill for us?
Yeah, tell us why they should love us, Ben, please.
Well, what are we shilling?
We're shilling merch.
Merch?
We're shilling the Patreon.
Okay.
And we're shilling.
We're all wearing black shirts with merch, but none of them are our own merch. This was a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Hey, John. Hey, Scott. Isn't your Patreon like really cheap and embarrassing if you weren't a subscriber?
Actually, it is.
It is.
Yeah.
You can, for $1, you can buy me a do, and Scott can watch me drink it.
Are you not entertained, friends?
Yeah. What the heck?
Are you not entertained, goody peepees?
Do you not want 20 to 30 more minutes of this
Every fortnight?
every fortnight? And if you haven't been a patron up until this point, you have like, I don't know, how many episodes?
Like 7 years worth.
Like 7 years worth of bonus 30-minute contents.
And in the bonus content, at least 33.3 repeating % of us got naked.
Yes.
Yeah.
I heard.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
Right? Do you want to see that?
That's the nudity floor, guys.
That's the minimum. In each after party, that's the minimum.
I like that. Whenever we have a guest on, they have to get naked in the after party.
It's in the contract. So, what else do you get for being a member of the Patreon,
Well,
Scott?
for being, that's quite a deep conversation. But for being a member of the podcast, you get access to submitting your models for us to give feedback on, giving us topics to discuss in future episodes. Obviously, you get to hear all this content in an extended episode, and you also get to hear us talk about things that we've tried and failed and experimented with in the last 2 weeks. And also a model that we like from different painters out in the mini painting world and why we like it.
Did you say that they can recommend topics for the podcast too?
I did.
God, that sounds like an incredible value.
It's incredible.
It is.
$5.
So much. Please, we need more stuff to talk about. Our brains are only so big, and
Yes.
it's not very big.
Yes.
Thankfully,
And-
we had Ben here.
And if you give us more money, we'll make more episodes of the podcast. That's a lie. That's a bold-faced lie. We will
Right.
not do that.
Yes.
At least right now.
Well, we'll keep making the same amount of episodes.
Yeah, and be happier for it.
Be happier for it.
Because money buys happiness, right?
Right.
Right?
I don't know.
Yeah, we've established that. That's a fact.
Right.
That's an established fact.
Okay.
Let's talk about Ben.
Okay.
Ben was here today on the
Special.
podcast.
Yes.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
No. If you want to check out Ben's stuff, his blog, which is amazing, he kind of highlights the way he approaches a project. And having been with you for a little bit, I'm starting to know a pattern.
Oh, I got patterns.
I know.
Okay.
I think those patterns end up not just in miniature painting and sculpting, but also in other places in your life. And I think for a lot of people, that kind of like almost like mathematical approach to miniature painting is incredibly helpful, because a lot of people, when they're painting, don't spell things out, right? It's a very artistic process. It's very flowy. You know, it's not spelled out. But I think you are special because you spell things out very specifically, especially on your posts on your blog. If you want to check that out, it's linked down below. It's very unique and very different, I think, and also his Instagram's down there as well. Anything else you want to shout out?
I would definitely direct people towards my Instagram more than... I mean, you should check out my blog.
Yeah.
Check out everything to do with me.
Honestly,
Please.
I like your blog a lot.
I like my blog a lot too. I think I should update my blog more, because if you want to get fresh content at a consistent rate, it's definitely the gram. But you should just do both.
Yeah, do both.
Yeah.
One's more of a trickle feed. The other one's kind of like the whole meals.
Yeah. I should do another big blog post soon. I actually haven't updated it in a while.
Yeah.
That's not to say what is there isn't great and
No.
amazing. You should check it out.
It is, and you should.
You could do a recap of your whole trip to Minnesota.
Yeah.
And how it expanded your universe as a person.
And how we're amazing people.
Yeah, and how great this was.
Yeah. None of that. That'll be the first line. Is I just want to go. This post is not under duress. This post made not under duress.
All right. Anything else?
No, we have officially inaugurated a new member of the Goody PP Kingdom.
Yeah.
And that is one Benjamin Kantor.
We
Thank you,
We
Ben.
have reigned in hell.
We did. We reigned in hell.
Yeah.
We got a new Goody PP. And until next time, we will catch you on the
Flippity flap.